Hi everyone, and welcome to the next installment of the Silver Sabres syllabus. We are here with you on YouTube, and all of this stuff is designed to help you if you're in class with us but you're locked down at home, but also if you're so far away that you can't practice in class with us, then some of these ideas might be things that you want to take on board and consider as part of your training, right? So by now, everybody's been doing for many weeks, 15 weeks of doing your 6/6s, right? And having that ability to transition from one foot to the other, maintaining a lovely sense of yin and yang in each foot as is required, right? So if you've been doing that work, then what we're about to do is going to be easy. And if you find some of this next content a struggle, then don't worry, don't stress. You know, at the beginning, a step is just a step, right? You just put your foot out and move, right? And then what we're about to do is to study that the step is not just a step. A step is a very carefully placed heel and toe, a transition from yin to yang, and then a release and a gathering before you start the next phase of the movement, which is going to repeat on the other side. So you discover that, you know, at first a step is just a step. Every baby does it. They stand up for the first time, they see their mama, and oh, and that's your first step, right? So 20 years later, got your first job, nice pair of Italian shoes, and you're still walking like a toddler that's walking for the first time. This is not walking. This is falling without style, right? This is literally, it's just controlled falling. You put your foot out and you collapse down onto it. And this is why most people prefer these days to have shoes with strange air bubbles and springs built into the soles. Your legs do that for you. Yeah, your legs are your springs. They are your air bubbles. They do all of this suspension for you. You have these glorious sheets of muscle that do all of this work. And if you don't use the structure, the technology properly, you're going to end up having to use these strange shoes and bizarre things to help you get around. And the solution is simple. A step is not just a step. A step is a piece of technology. And this body has evolved over millions, billions of years to do this perfectly. So you need to make the effort. And in combat, it matters. Right, so if you're here in the modern world and you can catch a bus to work, or you know, you've got any number of things that mean you don't have to walk anywhere, you will find your body becomes unwell. So in combat, you can't get away with that. You can't just waddle about and wave your sword at people and hope that that's going to be successful, because it's not very efficient. And combat is not about strength or speed, it's about efficiency. If you can, you know, optimize your efficiency, that is you at your peak performance. I mean, it doesn't matter how strong or fast you are, you can only optimize what you have. So efficiency is everything. And when we talk about 6 steps to walking, it's about removing any nonsense from the equation. So you're left with just the cleanest action. And that's why a step is not just a step. You have to study it in detail. And then, of course, to paraphrase Uncle Bruce Lee, you know, a punch is just a punch, then a punch is not just a punch, and then a punch is just a punch again, right? Well, a step is not just a step, and then it becomes just a step again. So what starts off as 6 steps to walking, and I'm very quickly here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And very gradually, as you become more proficient with this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it just becomes a means of walking around where I'm not wasting any energy in lifting and collapsing, lifting and collapsing. This is a huge tell amongst fighters. If every time you step you have to lift your hip or lift your shoulder, or every time you go to make a move you preempt it with some kind of cue or a tell, right? Obviously, you know, a fighter that's trained is going to see that, and the counter is going to be in place before you finished your attack. So the ability to hide changes in direction by masking changes in height is essential. But the other benefit of getting this right is there's no impact anymore. You're not doing this. Fencers can get away with that. People who fight under rules where at the end of each hit the fight is stopped and you reset, you can do crazy things that on the battlefield or in an unlimited environment would be suicidal. If you've done such a huge lunge that your back leg has collapsed, your back foot has peeled off, your knees going past your toes, the stance is enormous. You're never recovering from that. You're never going to be able to get back from that in the event that you missed. And if you presume you've hit and the fight stops if you hit because the referee stops it, that is irrelevant to martial arts. So all of this, when we talk about 6 steps to walking, it informs you biomechanically, but also it starts to seep into your strategy and your tactics as you start to have more control over your footwork. As the whole mechanism starts to bind itself with your breath, and then hence your emotional state as well, you'll start to gravitate from sport towards self-defense. And this is kind of why we do it, right? So that's your introduction to 6 steps to walking. That is why we do it. It is the correct use of the various structures of the legs. It develops the muscles in a particular way, which is balanced between agonist and antagonist. It removes any impact from the action of walking, so you don't need these crazy shoes and bizarre air bubbled thingies. And it hides and masks your strategy when you're preparing to move. It means that you don't expose your intention quite so readily. You can maintain a veil of deceit over what you're attempting to do, which obviously is critical. So let's take a look, shall we? 6 steps to walking. Right, so in profile, here we look. I'm facing this way. I'm going to first shift the weight into the ball of my right foot thus, and I'm going to sit down into the ball of the right foot. Head is up, bum is down. I'm breathing into the abdomen. I'm balanced in the ball of that heavy foot, and I am relaxed. From here then, I have my left foot empty, and this allows me to very gently just place it out in front. This is step 1. Just that. There's no weight in it. All of the weight is in the back leg. I can lift this foot off the floor with no thought to having to adjust anything else. This foot is cheating, it's lying, it's pretending to be significant, but it's not. And we're going to increase that just a fraction by securing our ground for advance, by dropping the foot down. Is the foot still empty? Why, of course. There it is. I could, if necessary, extend to a toe kick, a knee kick. I could easily go to a heel kick or place the foot back on the floor, and nothing else needs to move. The head, the hips, the weighted leg, all of it retains its structure with the independent movement from the hip and the knee of the empty left leg. This is phase 2. Phase 3 is to actually make the transition from one leg into the other. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that from the center of my body, I'm going to pour all of my blood down into the ball of the new foot, the left foot. And as I feel the weight filling that leg, I'm just going to add a touch of extension down into the heel to complete my movement forwards. You can see the head is in line with the knee, which is in line with the ball of the front foot. And here we have completed the forward archery posture, which you should be comfortable with by now. And if you are not comfortable with it, you shouldn't be watching this video. You need to go back a couple of chapters, right? So this is where we go from for phase 3. So for phase 4, I'm now no longer just going to be shifting between 2 feet with the feet fixed. I'm trying to make some measure, make some distance, change the volume on the target. I need to take a step. To do that, first I have to release the back foot, and I'm going to do it thus, by releasing the heel and dropping the back knee. And again, you can see nothing else needs to move. The head and the hip and the heavy leg stay exactly in the same place. And indeed, I can lift that empty foot off the floor without anything else needing to be done, because I'm fully committed to the forward archery stance, which places the weight in the yang foot of the ball of the left foot, right? So from here, phase 4, release the back foot, drop the back knee, which leaves me inclined, single weighted, and unable to move without my bum sticking out. So I'm going to correct this and return to a neutral measure. How does that look? I'm going to allow the bum, like a pendulum, to swing underneath, keeping the head lifting, but not physically rising, just extending from the top of the head, allowing the bum to sink underneath. This is phase 5, and you can see again, the back foot is completely empty. And then the last phase in the step is to gather the back foot, preparing to move in any direction we need to. And that looks simply, the back foot comes into the center. I'm going to start again. Phase 1, I place the empty foot in front. And I can change my mind here. If this is a disaster, then I can change and I can elect somewhere else to put this foot. This is an option that becomes available to you as you begin to understand the nuance and detail hidden within the 6 steps to walking. If you're just throwing yourself in random directions, then you're never going to get the opportunity to change mid-attack. And that's really where that's the epiphany of combat, is the ability to adapt spontaneously in the moment. Don't commit to something you can't change, because you're not fighting a robot, you're fighting an intelligent human being, and they are crafty, right? So you need to be able to change. From here, 1, 2, it's still empty, see? 2, 3, advance. 4, release the back foot and the back knee. 5, drop the bum underneath. 6, stepping into the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step 1 and turn it in 2. Shift the weight 3, release, stepping in 4 and 5, and then for 1, 2, 3, turn 4, 5, 6. So you can even utilize the method for completing 360-degree rotations, and you can do that. If you look from the front, I can place 1, 2, and do the transition thus with, again, the knee, and it's distorted, sure, but it's stable and it's rooted. I have access to this foot as I need it. I can transfer back as I need it. I can go the other direction. I can turn the feet into point towards each other. And again, I'm able, through applying the 6 steps to walking, to move that in any direction I like. And this is the joy of a system for movement that allows you to chop and change. It's modular. Again then, starting from this side, 6 steps to walking. 1, step out. 2, foot down. 3, advance. 4, release the back foot. 5, drop the bum underneath the top of the head. And 6, step into neutral, keeping this foot empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can see it blends. It blends. There's no longer any hard edge between the phases of the movement. They all become united and harmonized into a single action, and the two halves of the feet start to work like a common rim on a wheel. So you start to get this motion. It's fun, guys. It's like having an invisible skateboard with you everywhere you go. Who needs wheels when you have legs, right? Handy on the dance floor, right? Yeah, don't trust someone with a sword if they can't dance. Don't do it. 6 steps to walking. Take it away. Practice it like your life depends on it, because it does. It does. If you don't want arthritis of the spine, you need to make sure your hips work as shock absorbers. If you don't want arthritis of the hips, you need to make sure your knees are functioning as shock absorbers. And if you don't want to hurt your knees, you need to, guess what? Ankles. They have to work properly. So if you're not using the muscles that govern those joints correctly, if you're always sort of insecure about your height, for example, this happens with a lot of people. You see, tall people will stoop like this so that they don't intimidate anyone, because no one's happy if everyone's afraid of them, right? And then you'll get short people who are constantly walking around like this, and everybody's absolutely terrified that somebody else might actually see who they are. And you're like, guys, just be yourself, right? If someone loves you, then they love you because you're you. And if they hate you, then at least it's sincere, right? So just be yourself. Drop down a little bit. This is your height. If you're trying to be taller or trying to be shorter, then you're just trying to be sick. Yeah? Be yourself. Work it. Make it natural so that nobody even knows you're doing kung fu as you walk across the world. As far as they're concerned, it's just a person with grace. Take it away, and we'll see you soon.